We've got him. We've got him here, folks. We found him.
Nice. Well, welcome to Sober Shenanigans, real talk and real recovery. We're just two garden variety alcoholics trying to get better every day and trying to tell you all out there that you are not alone. We are here with you. So it's great to be back, Primo. How you feeling today?
Dude, I'm like Tony the Tiger. I'm great.
That'll age us.
Yeah. Well, that's, for you younger people out there, that's an old marketing campaign for Frosted Flakes.
Frosted Flakes, that's right. Yeah. Tony the Tiger was great. Hey, we didn't do a show last week because we were over in Orlando at PodFest, checking out all the other podcasts out there in the world. And what did you think about that, Pri?
Dude, we crushed it, man. We rolled in there, and I was afraid I was going to get my clothes ripped off for all the success that we've had with the show. But that didn't happen.
No, that did not happen.
I was thinking, we're gonna show up and they're gonna be like, oh my God, they're here, and so none of that really happened. But in my mind, it did.
Yeah.
And but what was interesting, there was 4 or 5 other sober platforms. There was some sober travel companies, some sober coaches or whatever that is, and so I think we've got some follow up with some of our people out there, and we actually went to a meeting.
I was gonna say, yeah, that recovery meeting that we went to was awesome. That kind of situation could be triggering for alcoholics, guys like us. Is everyone's at a hotel, they're all hanging out. A lot of people were partying all day, all night.
Right?
Podcasting, and then we found that recovery meeting, which got moved on us. We missed it. We thought it was gone, and then all of a sudden you got the text, and we got to meet some real cool people in there. That was fun. I was glad to go to a meeting while we were there.
Yeah, and I met some professional people in the industry of what you and I have created here, and I was able to do a little research, a little R&D, and try to, my goal is to put a good product together. I enjoy it. It's a passion. It's a hobby now. Obviously, it's a hobby, and it's just something I really have enjoyed. The response and the people have been amazing.
Yeah. Speaking of that, and speaking of new fangled things that we got going for our website and for the show, we do have a subscribe feature now.
We do. And just so people understand, this content in this show will always be free, as far as I'm concerned. But if we can cover there's a lot of costs associated with producing this. So we would like to try to break even or better. And hopefully one day, if it does get big enough and more popular, if we do generate enough revenue, I'd like to create a scholarship, for somebody to go through recovery. And that's definitely high on my list of if we can achieve that it would mean a lot to me.
I know that you've talked to a couple of recovery places about that and trying to put something together. So hopefully that'll work out, if we keep growing the way we are. And it'd be awesome to have like an annual scholarship fund to put somebody in that can't afford it, that needs the help. I mean, that's what we're here, is to try to help somebody, one person every day. It's just it's try to do the next right thing. Pause, let God in, Get rid of our ego, stop edging God out. All those great sayings that we learn here in the program.
Hey, if we can put hundreds of people through treatment and recovery, God bless us.
That would be great.
You know what I mean? Nothing would make me happier. However, let's just start, I'll start fantasizing about all my successes before I even have them. So I'm just going to stay grounded right now.
Yes.
But I'm totally in awe of our Shenanigang and the people that do watch the show and follow us. And so...
Yeah, I agree. No future trip in here. We're taking it one day at a time. And today has been a great day. And speaking of today we've got a great guest with us, another guy with longtime sobriety. He's got a really good story. It's our buddy Lorenzo from Chi-Town. He's an actor, an electrician, an engineer. Got a lot of good stories from back in the day. Lorenzo, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing real well, thanks.
Good. It's really good to have you. Thanks for coming down. Why don't you start out by just giving us a little background, possibly maybe when you got sober, how you found the program. Just, give us a little background.
Okay. I didn't come in until later. And I can't say I had a whole bloody background, but when I was ready to come in, I was ready. I was ready, and I didn't really all the painful part of alcoholism, it crept up on me. You know, it's like I was a frog in boiling water, and I wouldn't jump out. I was quite comfortable taking that. I would have boiled my brains out. But well, I tell you, I had to get sober to appreciate that I was drunk most of the time and I was unconscious. So when I did come in here, I was ready, and by the grace of God, I'm a one-chip wonder.
Jeez, another one. Another one.
Nice.
You know, it's well, you have to.
He is too, by the way.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Luckily enough, yes.
Fuck you guys.
Well, it's, you know, I don't think I could have taken any more. So it's become very precious to me. You know, once I got sober, and I didn't think I was an alcoholic because I didn't have that trench coat, that signature trench coat, and I wasn't living under a bridge, and quite the opposite. You know, it crept up on me so much that I pretty much had a comfortable life, and I was treating myself the best I could. I was treating myself to the best liquor. I was treating myself to the finest, you know, cigars and cognacs. And
Sweet.
let me tell you, I was taking care of myself. I didn't know how to do it any better than that,
Yeah.
you know. And I'd work out, and I'd leave the gym and already try and jumpstart. When I got home, I know I was going to cook myself. I love to cook. My
Yeah.
Italian
Cool.
background.
Another
you know?
chef.
I'm a chef.
Oh, there you go.
Hey.
And I used to love to put together a good meal, and to get in the right frame of mind, you know, you have to have those. You have to have the right. You got to get a little bit loose before.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sure.
So let me tell you. So I left the gym thinking that, you know, I'm a healthy guy, right? And I got my bottled water, and I'm drinking it, and I know I'm going to be home in about 15 or 20 minutes and have a cocktail. And it seemed like I couldn't even wait. Before I came in, I used to take a couple of Xanax to get a jump start.
Right.
You know, because I knew when I got home, these things would be kicked in, and now I'm ready for a drink.
Yeah.
I had to get drunk, or I had to get lightheaded before I. Anyway, I didn't realize how stupid this was, how crazy this disease is, like they say, cunning, baffling, powerful.
So did you
Yeah,
have
for
a full family at home, or what was your?
No, I had, you know, I had my experiences with a couple of failed marriages.
Congratulations.
Yes, I know, and you know what? It's
Me too. I had one failed marriage.
yeah, and I don't know if it was. I just knew how to pick them. Like my sister said the other day, you know, I confused cup size with IQ. You know, no, I don't know. And then I don't know. So those were quite traumatic, and they cured me of the obsession to get married again. I had a couple of those, and they relieved me a great deal of my financial gains, and whatever. That's a whole crybaby thing that I don't need to get into.
I got a friend that's been married 5 times, so it's, you know, you're not breaking any records with just 2.
No.
So
You know, it's just like what the definition of insanity, right? You put your hand in the fire. Oh, that burns. You take it out. How many times are you going to do that before you realize, I don't think I'll put my hand in the fire?
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
how many drinks how many times are you going to cross the street as a jaywalker?
that's true.
Yeah. Another good one.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I took it too much to heart, but it seemed to.
Did it inspire you? Did that motivate you to get sober though? Any of those experiences? Or was it just you were unhappy? I'm trying to, you know, you're drinking cognac and smoking cigars, but something was missing, obviously, at some point.
No, you know what? Honestly, it may have affected me, but they had to do with my drinking, not so much.
Okay.
Not so much.
All right.
Yeah.
But, I think what really is, like I said, I worked hard, and I'd lost and made money, but
I didn't
I'd say-
catch what kind of work were you in? I'm sorry.
I was I'm an electrical engineer, so
Okay.
sales of new and emerging technologies.
Oh, we're always looking for electrical engineers in my cell phone, so that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I actually helped develop one of the Motorola's early flip phones. The what was it called? The Edge or some nonsense.
The Razor.
The Razor.
The Razor.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh.
Nice.
So a lot of that technology, it keeps shrinking down. And I said, hey, I'll bet you don't like carrying a suitcase around. Your customers would be loving a small device that they could put in their pocket.
Wow.
And they said, yeah, how can we do that? And I said, well, I have just the item for you.
The StarTAC was the other one. The crackberries.
Yeah.
Wow. That's cool. It's an interesting.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I would have done it for free because it just kept me updated on the latest, greatest, and it was moving so fast. You had to run it. And any time an engineer is trying to be viable to his company, if he didn't know how to do something better, at less cost and smaller, more effectively,
Yeah.
and he'd say, they would get rid of him, and so they would welcome me. It wasn't like I'm a salesman, and like, I first told my mom my first job was in sales.
Wow.
I got out, and I went right into this field.
That's cool.
And she was so, oh my God, she says, I'm so disappointed. She says, you studied and worked so hard to be an electrical engineer, and now you're going to be a salesman. Okay, Ma. So.
Yeah, but you got to sell some of the brand new, most cutting edge technology. I mean, when those phones first went from the size of a suitcase to smaller, you were right on the beginning of shrinking of the technology of the chips and how to make something smaller that had a big enough brain in it to work like a phone. Those must have been some great heady times, right?
All right. Just incredible.
Yeah.
Just to be a part of that whole thing.
That must have been a good cigar. Is what I'm thinking.
Well, you do love cigars, that's for sure.
I was thinking, as you're revealing your story to us that, we're always looking for an engineer in the show here, because I'm not it.
Anymore. I was a hardware engineer.
Perfect.
And at that time, that was important. But now, like the programs you were fiddling around, that's all software.
Yeah.
And so the whole technology thing is kind of transitioned. There's only so much you can do with the hardware. And now it's a software thing.
Yeah.
I'm sensing that you're way better at it than I am. Just for early conversation.
Yeah.
I
sense that too.
Stuff. I'm always looking for some moral support out there, but that's a great. I like the story, man. That's cool.
Yeah. So was that back in Chicago?
Yes. Yeah. And then I got transferred all over. I lived in Southern California. I moved from Chicago to Southern California, and then Denver, Colorado. And I think where I started to get off the rails, well, I don't know. Like I say, it was gradual.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like, oh, here's where you're an alcoholic.
Yeah.
No, I had to come by that, and at one time I thought, I'm pretty sure alcohol had a good hold on me. When the last place I moved to was the mountains of New Mexico.
Oh.
And I just wanted to get away from all these crazy people as far as I could. But I found out you need people in your world.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to come by them, like it or not.
Yeah.
And like I said, I tried all kinds of things to feel like I was on the right path. And, finally, I ended up at that jumping off place. That's the best way. I like the way the book puts it, because if I was on a cliff and it was a sheer fall to rocks beneath me, hundreds of feet, I was on that jumping off place. Either jump or you got to do something here, because you're going to end up on those rocks down there one way or the other, whether or not you jump or you stumble. Or so I ended up in AA. And, of course, I had some defining moment where, and I'll tell you what, I just couldn't remember. I remembered the event, but I at the time I couldn't remember the last time that I had laughed, that I had cried, that I had felt anything at all, and I was so removed from the people and the world around me. And again, I wasn't dating anyone because I had that traumatic experience of a couple of bad events.
Yeah.
And I ended up renting 3 videos, 3 comedies, and getting a nice Chicago deep dish pizza, frozen pizza, and a big bottle of Chianti.
Ugh.
And some Tanqueray, and some tonic, and some whatever else I could find. And I said, I'm going to watch these comedies and laugh my ass off, because I can't remember when I laughed. And I put in the first one. I'm like, what's so funny? Maybe, I don't know. This is not working for me. Put in another one. And I'm like, holy crap, And I was thoroughly prepped. I mean, I had gone through cocktails and whatever else, got myself lubricated as best I could. And that shit was not funny. So
What movies, by the way? Just
Yeah, I
out
was
of
gonna say,
curiosity?
yeah.
We got to know.
like
No.
Steve Martin and
Oh, The Jerk.
I don't know.
That would have helped.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't relevant, and they were supposed to be funny movies, but
I got you.
I'm not going to recommend them because they didn't do anything for me but brought me into the emergency room at the hospital because I thought, oh, geez, you know what? I got a nice meal and I'm loaded. I'm going to go out for some ice cream.
Uh-oh.
So I have a step up to my house, 3 steps up to my house, a little porch area, and thank goodness this happened. But I going to lock my door, and what happened was I was sitting and drinking, and by the time I stood up and walked to the door to lock it, all the blood flowed into my brain, and I was hit with a massive dose of whatever else I had been, kind of medicinally applying to myself, lubricating myself.
Sure.
And I went down. I fell, and so I ended up, one of the guards were driving by and found that I had been groaning behind the bushes, this big guy, and he was a little fella, and he said, I don't know what to do. And he called the police. The police came, the paramedics came, everybody came, and oh man, I remember, so I ended up in the emergency room. Long story long,
Yeah.
We're
Wow.
taking it. There's nothing wrong with me. I remember talking to the cop. I'm sitting in a chair answering his questions. And I said, look, I just need to sleep. That's all. And I'm nothing wrong with it. I stood up and I face planted in the middle of my driveway. I went, holy crap. crap. So now I'm in the emergency room. I'm Baker acted, and I'm. This is really scary. And then the next day, I didn't think I was an alcoholic though. Anyway, and so it's like a Saturday morning. The sun's up. It's beautiful. Beautiful day. The sun's coming through the window, and I'm in the middle of a conversation with a nurse, and I came out of my blackout. And I said, why am I here? I don't know what I was talking about beforehand, but it just, I came to. Why am I here? And she says, you don't know? How rude, right? It made me incredibly uncomfortable.
Wow.
And so I'm like, and I only lived like a half mile away. So, I came in with ambulance and all this other stuff, and I said, you know what? If there's nothing wrong with you that you're treating, I'll just walk home, okay? Because that made me real uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And so went home, and I figured, you know what? They gave me this little pamphlet. It says, you have, answer these questions. You may be interested in what you come up with. And, I tried to be honest about it, and I think I got like 8 out of 10, and I probably lied on the other 2. Didn't get.
So you got a straight A.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
The real McCoy.
Yeah. I said there's.
There's your boy, Farmer Roy.
Yeah. I figured I might want to look into what can be done about this, because I got the bills coming in.
Sure.
They only take me a half a mile, and they want to charge me like $6,000 for it. I go, oh man, I can't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Was it a AA pamphlet that they gave you, or a you may have a drinking problem pamphlet, or a?
It didn't say AA on it.
No.
Not that I recall. It was, like I said, just a dozen questions or so.
They used to have a pamphlet that questionnaire.
Yeah.
You might be an alcoholic. It's like a Jeff Foxworthy. You might be a redneck.
Might be a redneck if.
Yeah.
Was that what it was? It was if you answered them, it was like, how many drinks do you have a day? That kind of thing.
Yeah.
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 How often, whatever. Just really didn't make an impact on me. And I didn't even know if it had said anything about AA, but when I got those bills is when I perked up.
So,
Wow.
yeah, I guess that would be a wake-up call. Well, how did you arrive at your first meeting, actually?
Was it in New Mexico? All this happened in New Mexico?
No. This was actually, where was I? I was in southern Florida at the time.
Oh, okay. So you went from
I've been
New
living
Mexico to Miami, Fort Lauderdale area?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plenty of recovery over there, that's
Oh,
for
yeah.
sure.
Oh, yeah.
You part of the Miami men's group?
No.
Okay.
No. But I'd had enough. Anyway, there's so many meetings there. So
It's
counting,
unbelievable.
like
I went through some recovery time over there. When I was on tour to all the treatment centers that I went to. I toured the east coast of Florida. Went through like 5 or 6 of them. Yeah. It was fun.
Yeah. So there's lots going on there. So I ended up walking into a meeting there, and
Cool.
you know,
Where in Lauderdale or which one?
in Hollywood.
Okay. Yep.
Hollywood.
I've been in meetings in Hollywood too. Yeah. Great recovery over there. A lot of recovery.
You know, and it really, they welcomed me.
Yep.
You know, and this is somebody who'd been, I love this. I've heard this around the rooms. So I treated my loneliness with isolation. I thought that was the best. You know, I don't need these people. I don't need any. They're all crazy anyway, and they're making me sick. Anyway. By the time I walked in the door on my first meeting, they said, "Who wants to pick up a white chip?" And why don't come on? I guess it was kind of obvious my first meeting, and it was young people's meeting.
Oh wow. Yeah, Hollywood had a really strong
Yeah.
group of young people.
So 2 young girls popped up and gave me a hug.
Uh-oh.
Honestly, that was physical contact. And I know as men, you're probably thinking this was something, you know.
Did they know you were Italian? at the time? No, I'm just kidding.
They were not threatened,
Okay.
and nor did I give them any reason to be.
I got you.
But it was hugely, I mean, human contact at that point, I mean, was huge. And then the next day, they said, come back. We have meeting here, meeting. There's a men's meeting next day. So I went to a men's meeting, and I'll tell you, that's when I kind of got the gist of things. Not that I was an alcoholic, but they were like, I remember at the end of the meeting, they were so friendly, and it was all guys, and they, come back, and I yeah, fine. And they're all emptied out in the parking lot, and they got in their little groups,
Yep.
and they're all busting each other's chops, and I listening to all that, yeah. They said, oh yeah, come on back. We got meetings here every day, and even morning, noon, and night. You know what? Thanks. I appreciate that. And I went back to my car, and nobody was leaving but me. And I got to put my key. At the time, we had keys.
Yeah.
In the door lock, and I was aiming at it, and I'm hearing that, and I'm turning around, I'm listening to them, just having a time of their lives there, and I said, what the hell am I doing? I'm gonna go home and be by myself, and that's when I questioned that whole.
Wow.
What the heck? So and you know what I guess you have to have some curiosity to overcome that fear, because I didn't know these guys. I said, okay, I don't care if I look like a weirdo, just walking up. I don't know what I'm going to say. I have nothing to offer them. I don't know what they're about.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I look like a fool. I'm gonna step in one of those groups. And I went back, and you know what? That was huge. That was my entrance, and I know I'm gonna keep coming back.
That's a great story. You found a community that, welcomed you and had no prejudgment and didn't want anything from you. They just wanted something good for you, wanted to see you not have any more drinks and you be happy and healthy and join the crew, which is, one thing that we do love about the program is that it's open to everybody and we all pull for each other.
I didn't know all that at the time. I just thought, this is something I want.
No, but
Nice.
I'm definitely getting the the confirmed bachelor vibe that kind of got lucky and found a group. You know what I mean? And rescued from that loneliness. It's cool, man. It's really it's touching. A lot of people. We've had 3 or 4 guests on the show that have went out for ice cream and ended up in AA. You're not the first.
I mean, you would think booze and alcohol doesn't necessarily mix, but
A lot of ice cream people out there.
Well,
It's cool, though.
I certainly love some ice cream.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
oh, that was about 15 years ago. I'm working on that.
Okay.
So I know that. When did I think I stopped drinking after I went to that AA meeting. They said, yeah, the other thing they said besides come back is, well, don't drink
Yeah.
and come back. So I said, okay.
Nice.
Again, not drinking was a wake-up call, too. I didn't think I was an alcoholic. I mean, because I didn't have the heebie-jeebies because I didn't have a drink in me. But let me tell you, I had the heebie-jeebies because I didn't have a drink in me.
Nice.
So I realized that I should have had further investigation as warranted.
What's great is because maybe that's this engineering background or some sort of education that allowed you to maybe look into the future a little bit, like, hey, this thing's really going the wrong way, and you were able to digest the great content that's presented to us when we come in. Like, hey, this other life is this jumping off place, or I can have this great other life, and you were, and both you guys were able to figure that out early. I had to go through a lot of training. I had to go to the School of Hard Knocks.
I don't think anything is lost.
No.
I mean, you know, a truth for me is if I weren't enjoying my life more today
Sure.
than I was when I was imbibing and, my in my disease, if I weren't happier,
Sure.
I wouldn't keep up with it. But now it's become so darned important.
Well, I'm actually I was able to pluck him from the meeting last night I went to, and I was like, as a talent scout that I am, I was able to pick up on Lorenzo here, and say, I think this guy's got some goods, and lo and behold, he's delivering the goods.
Yeah.
It's a pretty interesting story for sure. I think it's great that when people can come in and get that kind of realization or awakening. That this is better, man. There was an old guy in Tampa that used to say, it just gets better, better, and better. And it doesn't, you don't have to necessarily have all this grand information around it. It just is that simple. And I think that's something that I know that's experiencing in my life, that the more that I think about other people and the more that I do this stuff, it just gets better, better, and better.
And I had the right kind of people around me too. That I think God speaks through others pretty clearly for me. Because when they said, "Oh, get a sponsor," and he's the one who's kind of take the lead and show you the ropes. and I told him, I said, "Look, I'm really not sure I'm an alcoholic." And he said the perfect thing for me. Well, you may not be. Just try not drinking and keep coming back anyway. And honestly, that was it. And when I got the heebie-jeebies too, I said, "Oh man, I feel like I'm coming out of my skin," because I started to feel. I started to feel things.
Yeah.
First thing I felt, I would have drank over. It's an unidentified feeling.
Yeah.
I had this unidentified feeling, and I just was so flipping out about it. And I said, "Look, man, I feel like I'm coming out of my skin here." And he said, "Well, you're exactly where you need to be." Years later, I told him how impactful that was. He said, "I don't know, what was it? What?" I interpreted that as something to where, like, you are really hosed up and your body is trying to heal. The last thing you need is to put another drink in it because you're in the healing. You're in a recovery part of this. And I'm like, oh, I guess I am an alcoholic. And I so grateful that the right words were said to me at the right time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you that I think that God or our higher power puts people in our way, in our place, that are meant to be there for whatever reason to help us through that. And we have mentioned on this show quite a few times and had quite a few guests say the same thing, that when you get sober and you feel your feelings for the first time for a long time, because a lot of reasons we drank was to not feel those feelings, to get through whatever it was and just dull ourselves. And then when you're done dulling yourself and you get sober and you realize that is the best way of life, you feel them again. And then what it allows you to do is you find a way to deal with them. It mentions it quite a few times in the big book that we will find a way through, and these things will come to pass, that you will find a way to handle problems the correct way. You'll pause, you'll take a break, you'll think about it. On awakening, we think about the 24 hours ahead. We take a pause when we come to a decision, and we know that it'll take us in the right direction. So when you got into the program originally, I feel like you jumped in, like you were in both feet, like you were, once you got your sponsor, you're in the book, and as Primo might say, you're kind of like maybe a black belt AA guy, like you really are big on the book and you follow the, the traditions and all that, which is great. I'm just trying to, clarify.
I did. I jumped in with both feet. I could identify so much, and I was so grateful because my life turned around. By the way, that first feeling that I had, that I would have drank over. It was unidentified. It was uncomfortable.
Sure.
I was happy.
Right. Well,
I would have had. What?
Right.
That's a bad thing.
Yeah.
But I had to get there and get over it to realize, man, the feelings are okay. They're coming back. There's a good feeling,
Mm-hmm.
So when I'm so grateful that I was given this great gift, and like you were saying, Primo, this thing is a gift that keeps giving and better.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a pink cloud thing. Like early on, I thought everybody in AA was like a saint, even though it says we are not saints.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Literally.
And it was,
Which I love, by the way.
yeah. But it's funny because it seems like, oh man, they, and all of the traditions and the steps and the God-based this and that, and it sounds like a real, like these people are anointed ones. And then you realize after that pink cloud kind of settles that these are just drunks like you, trying to stay sober.
Yep.
Yep.
So, yeah, like when we're first coming in, there's people that we see in the program like, wow, you're 10 years sober, and we're like deitizing them. And they're like, and I thought by the time I got to 20 or 25 years that I would just like float through the room and like have a long beard and a staff. And I was going to be like this spiritual giant. And, I could probably tell you some things I was doing that wasn't so spiritual, But it's designed to give us a whole lifetime of allow us to improve. It doesn't say, progress, not perfection. That we became willing. I'm willing to have God take all these defects of character. Yeah, take them. But he's taking his sweet ass time with some of them. You know what I mean? I still got a few, and that's okay. I know the one thing that's really critical to staying sober is that you got to stop hurting other people. You got to stop doing things that have a negative impact on other people. And in order for me to be happy, and if I'm not happy at some point, I probably would end up getting drunk, or I could white knuckle it. I'm that kind of stubborn too. But the happiness is that you touched on something that's it's a pretty interesting feeling when you start to be genuinely happy, and sometimes I like to drink from that faucet all the time if I can, but it's not always open.
You tried to force happiness on yourself with the movies and the pizza and the drinking, and that didn't work. In fact, it backfired. Although, in hindsight, it actually is what got you to thinking about your life to get you to the steps of the first meeting. So, again, it was God in your life saying, Lorenzo, this is not how you get happy. You're trying to get yourself happy through all these other things, and I'm going to have you face plant in your driveway.
It was a deep dish pizza. It was a deep dish pizza, though. I mean, and frozen, I guess. But I mean, it been like
he probably got it shipped in from Chicago. And
if you
they ship it in frozen.
Oh yeah. If Element Luminatos or whatever.
Chinos.
Yeah. Okay.
Chinos East.
But if you got that ice cream, who knows what would have happened?
Well.
Thank God you didn't get it.
If I got in my car when I couldn't even stand, if I had that blackout in my car, this could have been a horror story.
Yeah.
Right?
Probably takes a whole new meaning when you go out for ice cream, doesn't it?
Yeah. Have you been to ice cream since? It's like
it's a spiritual moment, like
pouring off ice cream.
You guys don't understand. This is a spiritual thing I'm doing here.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. It's like I I don't go out for ice cream anymore because it gets me drunk. No, I'm no relation. No,
No.
So how did you get from New Mexico to Hollywood? What brought you there? Just change of scenery?
you know, I was I couldn't find anything to do. I mean, and I was literally out in the middle of nowhere. And the town was maybe 20, 30 minutes away while I tried to get involved in the church and the Knights of Columbus and any other organization I could have. And, you know, I was actually helping somebody who had paraplegic, you know.
Oh, nice.
And taking them around. And, well, like, I was, I was
You were
doing my
looking for
best.
connection. You were longing for connection.
Yeah.
You were looking for it.
Yeah, I mean, the guy can't run away from me if I got to carry him everywhere, you know. But
He didn't get a dog.
He
He
was-
got a paraplegic to hang around with. The dog.
Oh, boy. All right. Was his name Matt? Never mind. I'm not going to go there with that.
yeah, so anyway, I ended up. I said, you know what? I'm much too young to just stop working, so I need to get back. And I got on the internet. I remember it was the year 2000. I thought I was preparing for the end of the world. That's where my mind was.
Right.
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 And the Y2K was going to shut everything down.
Yeah.
And it was New Year's Eve, and I got the satellites up, and I'm looking at the balls come down all over the world, and it's midnight. It's midnight here in Australia. It's midnight here in the UK. It's midnight here, and nothing's happening.
Right.
So-
Nothing did happen.
I grabbed my 9mm, and I walked outside, and I shot it a few times in the air and said, "Happy New Year. I think I need to get a job now." So I got a job, and that's how I ended up in Florida eventually.
Cool.
So
Ended up down there, and then you somehow made it to the Clearwater, Dunedin, Tampa area.
yeah, I've got a couple of sisters here.
Oh,
So
cool.
That was like, yeah, that's another thing. I just got complacent. I was living in a very simple temporary for
Yeah.
18 years, temporarily in a mobile home. And they said, "Oh, yeah." I came back to visit, and they said, and I said, "Oh, you guys are perfect. You could drop in on each other. It's nice having family around. They said,
Sure.
Why don't
Yeah.
you move here?" And they pulled up a house, beautiful. And I said, "I'm going to buy that house." I did, and here I am.
Love it. That's how you do it, man. Well, you've traveled quite a bit. You've moved a few times, so that's nothing that intimidated you. Plus, you're sober now, right? So you're ready for the world. You're ready to take on any challenge, which we can, because we're not inebriated. We're not under the influence of anything. So you can make a right decision, a smart decision, and come up here. Well, that's great. It's awesome that you came towards and found your family again.
Yeah.
That's great.
We can go anywhere and we can do anything, Lorenzo.
You know,
That's the beauty. And you know what? It's free, man. We're free.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's what I did. I mean, I not only lived in a bunch of places, but got sober. And I said, well, after my job that brought me here ended, I said, I'm going to go travel. And I went to Southeast Asia,
Oh, cool.
Kathmandu, and Nepal, and Thailand, and Cambodia, and China, and all. Whatever.
Did you go to Kathmandu because of the
Awesome.
song?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I said, well, what's the big, it's, because, you first get into AA and you're all spiritual and stuff. I want to, meet Buddha.
Yeah, I'm
And
going to Kathmandu.
So I met these guys, and you know what the thing is? I'm a big guy, and I'm Italian, so I got hair all over my body. I went to the base of the Himalayan mountains, and all the locals are like, "Can we pet you?"
Did they think you were a Yeti?
Exactly. That's exactly. It took me a while to figure it out. But then they had mannequins that looked just like me. They were all hairy, giant ape-looking guys, and here I am with my beard and my hairy body, and they just wanted to pet the fur off of me. And
I'd never heard of that. That's crazy.
they think I
Can we
am
pet
the
you?
Sasquatch.
Wow.
I
They
am.
treated you like an entity over there, like, oh, bow
Yeah.
down to Lorenzo.
Well, they're all tiny little people too, so I towered over them.
Sorry, I got to. I just got a cramp.
Oh, Jesus.
Ooh.
Careful over there, Pre.
Sorry about that, guys.
Eh,
I thought I was going down.
man, don't get a cramp in the middle of your chest.
Well, it was like I'm in back, my hamstring here. It's like, wow. Getting old is not what I had in mind.
It's not for the meat.
Yeah, it's not what I.
Sneaks up on you.
I wasn't supposed to.
So, of all the places that when you went on your travel around the world, what was your favorite place?
I got a lot out. I just everywhere I went, but I think really I enjoyed Turkey the most.
Really?
It was very affordable, and I went some places that the only way to get there was riding on the back of a camel,
Wow.
or elephant.
The size of the fucking camel that you had to ride on.
Yeah, really, I'm a big boy. You know that. He was like, oh, geez, get this guy off of me. But,
Yeah, right?
yeah, but, man, yeah, it was an amazing thing because I saw what looked to be some of the old altars, like they show in the Bible, where it's all carved out of stone and they're in a cave.
Yeah.
Well, you walk in these caves, and that's where the Christians had their ceremonies and stuff. And I mean, you can touch and feel, and it's not roped off, and there's no red velvet carpet that you have to make sure you don't leave it just right. Oh my God, and geography is just incredible. I mean, the sights and sounds, and then of course different people and cultures, and
Yeah. What about the food?
all the good foods, real foods.
Yeah.
It's not GMO. Actually, passed by the fields, I saw these women who had harvested the wheat, and they throw it up in the air so they separate the wheat from the chaff.
That's how they do it.
That's how they do it over there. So
You always hear that saying, separate and I didn't know that's how they did it. I thought it was tougher than that for whatever reason.
That's the saying.
Yeah, separate the wheat from the chaff or whatever. Yeah.
Yep.
That's separate the men from the boys, the this from the that. That's
Yeah.
You never heard that?
get to the essence of what the nutrition is.
I see. All right.
You know.
I love food. I'm a culinary tourist. I love it. And we were going to go to Turkey last year. And then, I don't know, we were going to go to Thailand. I wanted, but that's on my list of places to go. And I'm like, I don't know when we're going to do it, so we're just going to do it. I got to do it. Life is short.
It is.
That's what Lorenzo did. He's
I know.
like,
I
"Screw
might,
it, I'm going."
Lorenzo's got a few more miles on him than I
I'm glad I did it when I did because, as you were saying earlier, this getting old business kind of creeps up on you. So now I wanted to go to Egypt, and that's a lot of hiking and stuff. And I don't know if it's necessary. I've heard it's not as safe, but that's been on my bucket list. And if I don't get to it soon, that bucket is going to grab me before I get to Egypt. So.
You go these places. Did you go these places by yourself, or did you have a friend or a sister or anybody?
Here's the beauty of AA. You can find meetings anywhere.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when I went over, I flew into Bangkok, a huge city. And I didn't have any reservations. I had a backpack, and I had my stuff in it. And I knew that there was a meeting in Bangkok that I was going to go see where it is.
nice.
And right across from the meeting was a real economical hotel, and right next to like Hilton's and Marriott's and expensive places. And I went for months on my travel, so I'm not going to be staying at 5-star hotels.
Yeah.
And found the meeting, found the place across from the meeting, got checked in, went to the meeting. And everybody at the meeting says, here's where you need to go. This is where we're going out to eat afterwards. Why don't you join us? And man, I tell you what, I figured out pretty quick where to go. how to get there, where to stay away from, and AA, people stay sober all over the world.
AA around the world. That's awesome. That's
no,
great.
that's the coolest things. I've moved in quite a few cities in my sobriety, and man, I never forget. I drove everything. I loaded up everything I owned in a Ford Escort from Miami, and I drove all the way to Las Vegas to do an apprenticeship at the Mirage as a chef. And the first thing I did was plugged into AA, and it was like, you know what? My whole entire crew is here already. They've been waiting for me. You know what I mean? And they're welcoming me, and I was, got a new sponsor out there. The whole thing is just tailor-made for, and my wife is kind of like intrigued, but I can network all over the world, man. I'm automatically plugged in. So if anybody's listening to this, wherever you're at right now and wherever your life takes you, this program is totally transferable, and they will be loving you wherever you go. All you got to do is show up, raise your hand, and tell them who you are, that you need help or whatever it is, or you're new and you're scared, or you can say whatever you want, and somebody's going to come over to you and say, welcome.
Yeah.
That's why I always welcome somebody when I see somebody.
So important.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't think I could travel. Like a friend invited me from an AA person said, "Come visit me in Ireland," and I said, "There's no way. That's going to be a tough one because I like that Guinness Stout, and I like that." There are all these different kinds of beers. And then you got Scotland next door, right?
Right.
Well, guess what? They're Scotch.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
They got whiskey, and Irish has whiskey. And I can't do this.
And the food's okay. It's not like great. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's the other downside.
doesn't
The
matter.
booze is great and the food isn't so good. That's not on the top of my list anymore.
Yeah. It's not a good combination
You
for
go to
us.
a meeting in Ireland, and they have AA there. And they're all, and at least, they kind of speak the same language.
Yes.
And they stay sober there. And they're passionate about it over there.
Well, wouldn't you have to be if you're Irish?
Any more than Italian. I went to Italy, and
Oh, yeah.
they don't consider wine alcohol.
No.
And they don't consider the aperitifs, their little,
Limoncellos.
whatever. That's
Yeah.
not alcohol.
The amaretto.
I tried to tell them in Italian, I'm allergic. They go, but this is not alcohol.
Yeah.
It is alcohol. But you can stay sober there too. It's amazing.
Amen.
Would you look for the meeting prior to going to the country, or would you get to the country and then find a meeting?
Well, like most of my travel, it was on the fly.
Right. So
You
you
know,
would decide on a location.
Yeah, I know where I'm going,
Yeah.
city, and then where are the meetings. And, once you find the meetings, you get plugged in pretty quick.
I'm surprised
Yeah.
you're not a sailor, actually.
Yeah.
Nah.
Not your thing. I'm surprised. I'm a sailor, but your traveling sounds like sailing to me.
Yeah, well,
Where you just kind of put the rags up and you let it blow you around, and then where
Yeah.
you end up.
and you stay as long or as little as you like.
Well, you wait for the weather the season might change or something. You just kind of and then it blows you somewhere else.
Yeah.
So, very cool.
He said, "Put the rags up." You wanted to say that so bad.
I did.
You did.
Yeah, that it just gives me some cred. You know what I mean? Some
Yeah.
street cred
Some
as a
sailor
sailor.
cred.
Yeah.
All you sailors out there, now
yeah.
you know Primo's actually sailed before. But, speaking of around the world, how many countries is our show in now, Primo?
Over 35, Lorenzo. Now, if you go to a new country in fact, I'll give you the list of countries we're not in, so you can travel there and then download our show so that we can have that exposure,
Get us another country.
We need
on the
India.
books.
Right now, we need India, which is in China. I mean, there's like 3 billion people in those countries for crying
we
out
know
loud.
for a fact he's been to a meeting in India.
I know, but they haven't downloaded our show yet.
Well, what are they waiting on?
They need to get nudged.
They need to get nudged.
Yeah.
That's right. Somebody tell somebody in India, download the show.
If anybody's listening, anybody.
Right.
You never know. We might have got canceled with the way this freaking world works sometimes.
You can't cancel us.
No, that's
We're
true.
moving too fast now.
That's true. Now that we got Lorenzo on here, the
Of
world
course.
the world traveling.
You could say you're
Right.
endorsed by Sasquatch himself.
Yes, the Yeti from
Yeti.
from Chi-Town.
Yeah.
Dude, that's it. I already know what I'm gonna do with your poster. I got you now. Oh
Yeti
yeah.
from Chi-Town.
Oh yeah, the Yeti from Chi-Town. That's gonna be your you wanted a nickname.
Yeah.
You got one.
The Yeti's pretty good. Yeah.
Yeti.
I can't imagine what it was like.
Wait till I
with
put
people
AI.
wanting to-
Wait till I
to-
put
to
AI to
pet
work
you.
on this. Look what AI did to me. But for crying out loud, look at that.
Yeah, it took away 25 years.
Yeah.
It's crazy how it makes us younger like that.
Who would have known that I had all my teeth? Thank
Well.
you, AI.
Exactly. Well, listen, if you're having a tough time quitting, whatever it is you need to quit, you're not alone. There's apps and numbers and groups in your town, or you can call us if you want. 813-625-2532. Leave us a message. Check us out on Facebook. Taking that first step into a room or a chat or a group with people trying to get better just like you will be the best day of your life. Lorenzo, this time has just flown, and it's been great having you. Do you have any parting words or anything that you'd like to impart on us before we finish the show?
Well, probably most important is this is a better way to live your life. And I have found that to be true. I would have never found out how to do this. I mean, the big book is an instruction manual. You got to have teachers, and you got to have coaches, and you got to have some people bring you along as well, because it's a learn by doing experience. And absolutely nothing that I've learned in AA will hurt me and will hurt anybody. Come in, jump in, and don't be afraid. You just might find a better way to live your life and a better quality of life.
What a freaking great way to put it, man. That's so succinct. Primo, I don't know what you're going to follow that up with, but what about you? What's your Primo's point for the show tonight?
Jeez Louise.
It's hard to follow that.
That was everything I was going to say, actually. Almost. Seriously, that if you digested the show, if you listen to it, it really comes down to we can go, once we put the plug in the jug, we can go anywhere and do anything, man. And we can travel the world. We can live out our dreams, and we can be the person that we want to become. And there's no hold. The only thing that's holding you back is you, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because the spirituality and the energy of this movement is waiting for you wherever you go, man. You just got to show up. That's it.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks for listening to Sober Shenanigans, real talk and real recovery. Worry, anxiety, and fear, it's all up in here. Give yourself a break. You're enough, and you're doing great. I'm Stoff, and he's Primo, and remember,
No drinks today.